Hi guys, this is Melissa Zad for Into Boxing, and I am delighted to be joined by the man himself, Mr. Kalle Sauerland. How are you doing?
I'm good, Melissa. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm absolutely loving that pink blazer on you. It's a real treat.
Yeah, it's my first ever crossover boxing press conference, but that went really well. The face-to-face afterwards, they were interesting. They were good fun, and I've got to say, I had to spring into action a couple of times. People often say, "Why'd you do the face-offs?" I said, "Well, I enjoy getting in the middle of two fighting men," and it was quite an interesting few face-offs we had there. I'm expecting everything this week, so expect the unexpected and you'll be good.
Do you know what? We'll delve right into that, but before we get into kind of the nitty-gritty of it, obviously this is a KSI sort of double header. You know, he's fighting Swarms and he's also fighting Pineda on the same night. This is a YouTube boxer who is taking on two opponents in one night. I mean, from someone who's so experienced within professional boxing, what do you make of that?
I mean, when I first heard it, I thought it was crazy. You know, he's been out the ring for 1,015 days, and now I'd say, you know what? It's a genius idea if it pulls off. So I said to him, it's a lot of cake to put on the table to eat. Yeah, and in life, you've got to set challenges, but sometimes you can come up short, and that's the danger on Saturday night. That's the excitement. That's the X factor about this Saturday night. And we just did the face-off. Three of us, three of them, three fighters up on one face-off. I mean, I didn't know where to look, where to watch. You know, it was crazy. Real vibes as well between Swarms and KSI up there. You know, he doesn't make much of that. He hasn't boxed before. He's had a boxing training camp, sparred. But he's a tough Southeast London boy, and you know, just about skill. He's sold out O2. He's not going to want to show. He's going to be able to walk the streets the next day, so he's going to have to show a good account of himself.
I mean, it's really interesting because I think a lot of purist boxing fans sort of scoffed at the idea of YouTube boxing when it first came on the scene. But there was a really interesting point made throughout the press conference, which is that YouTube boxing has brought so many fresh eyes to the sport. And, you know, just the atmosphere in there today, the fact that the O2 is sold out, there are lots and lots of professional cards who are not sold out. What do you make of kind of the place of YouTube boxing within that landscape?
Yeah, well, we've just sold out the O2 twice in 6 weeks with KSI and then with Eubank Ben. I reckon out of the 20,000 fans on each night, I don't think that there's more than 500 who've got tickets for both. Totally different demographics, totally different appeal to it. It's novice boxing, but it's superstars in that field. So it's like, you know, and by the way, novice boxing is fantastic to watch. It's great to watch. It's fun. They make mistakes, and I'm not expecting any different on Saturday night. The difference being that they're all superstars in their segments, whatever they do, whether they're YouTubers, rappers, influencers. You know, like I said, I'm meeting people, and I'm literally talking to them, just curious, like what you do. You know, you've got 100 million followers. Why? What you do? You know, so it's interesting. Yeah.
It's very interesting. What do you think it is that draws YouTubers to boxing?
I don't know. I don't really care, because they could have chosen golf, tennis, ping pong. I don't know. I'm delighted that we have these young people. I've got my son's on a plane on the way over. He's 14. He's loving it. My oldest son is 21. He's on a plane. He's over. He's loving it. You know, so it reaches that demographic. They probably would be watching UFC now if it wasn't for this. So we need to thank it from the sport of boxing.
Whatever the reason, I mean, it's very, very exciting. What do you make of comments that KSI made about his goal is to bring down Jake Paul?
Yeah, okay, sort of, you know, I mean, KSI was the first on the YouTube boxing scene together with Logan Paul. He beat Logan Paul in his last fight. Now they're business partners, and it's the brother now who's sort of risen out of the ashes, hasn't he? What do I make of it? it's a huge fight. Would I like to promote it under our Misfits banner? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure there's a few other promoters out there in professional boxing who would want to do that as well. It's bigger number-wise than any professional boxing fight. Any heavyweight championship, unification, it's bigger number-wise. So, fact.
Really exciting times ahead. So the last question I have for you, Kalle, and I really do appreciate your time, is, now that the dust has settled since the AJ Usyk rematch, where Usyk won by points decision, what's your views and thoughts on AJ's reaction after the fight?
And a very candid reaction on another outlet yesterday. I'll say it again. I won't say it in the same way because I've let it off my chest now. I thought it was an honest reaction. That's what I'd say today.
A human reaction.
A human reaction. I like that sort of thing. If you want people who are just plastic dolls you can buy in shops, that's your cup of tea. My cup of tea is someone who, man or woman, who's just a bit real.
Really hard to be plastic after you've been punched in the head for 12 rounds, in my opinion.
Yeah, but there are boxers who are. I promoted a few, I can tell you. But he showed for me, and I think in the past, I've met AJ many times, lovely guy, very, very cool guy. But he has got that squeaky, clean sort of front cover, GQ, Lucozade bottles, Shaw deodorant. He's a marketing dream. I like the fact he came out and was a bit rude boy and, he just showed for me the emotion, and I know that he must have a lot of spite in him because the way he has been often in his career. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Kalle, for your time. I really appreciate it.
That's all right. Thanks a lot.